a woman is trying to sue an airline she flew on, basically for embarrassment. So I don't think she's going to get anything out of it. I know you do this or have done it, buying a second seat on the plane.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been doing it 20 years.
Yeah, been doing it for a long time. This woman bought a second seat, an extra plane seat, and when she got on there and had settled down into one seat and had she had the middle and she sat on the aisle.
Is she a customer of size?
She's a customer of size, exactly. And she doesn't like to, draw too much attention to it, but she bought the ticket and the extra ticket, sat in the aisle seat, but also had the middle seat. So they came to her and said, we've overbooked the flight, so we're going to take that seat from you.
We're going to need that empty.
Yeah, they did. They took it. They took it from her.
Big no on that.
Well, do they have the right to do that or not? I don't think so.
I don't think so. If I bought it and said, yeah, this is for me, which I've had that discussion with them before, the airlines.
Have you really?
Yeah, because, somebody, a lot of times, the person will come sit next to me that'll be on, and I like that too. I like the aisle in the middle. And, they'll start kind of encroaching over because they'll realize, oh, he has this seat too, so they'll start putting their stuff in my seat. I'm like, no. This isn't shared community.
Yeah.
This is all mine for my storage.
Right.
And I have had them come to me, though, and say, is anyone next to you? I'll say, no, but that's my seat too. And the flight attendant's voice said, oh, okay. They've never tried to stuff someone in.
Well, in this case, they did stuff someone in. And
That's no good for anybody.
No. And the woman who had purchased the other seats said it was uncomfortable for everyone. They said, we've overbooked this flight. This person needs to be on this flight, so we're putting her. No one else, I guess, was willing to get off the flight. You know how they'll do that sometimes. And the flight attendant said, if you want a refund on your ticket, you can go to our website it's American Airlines.
No.
Of course not. I mean, not only did she buy the seat, lose the seat, she had to do the legwork to get her money back. So she's really upset, as you can imagine. But I don't know that there's any damages for her. You know what I mean?
And let me tell you, though, because I've said this before about airlines now, and I'll be flying on one a little under a year.
Oh, going off to California?
Yeah.
California way.
The thing with airlines now is that they just don't care. So they do what they want. So it's like, what are you going to do? Complain and never fly again? Okay, bye.
Could you NetJet?
Well,
no, I don't have 10 grand laying around.
Not now.
No. Sorry, 10 grand was 10 years ago.
You're Johnny Parlay.
I don't have 15 grand laying around.
Parlay it into a NetJet.
Well, that's going to have to be a lot of parlays.
That's what fact checker Rusty said that my son should do. Instead of going to the University of Tennessee, just NetJet to the game.
Yeah.
Same price.
It is.
If you what do they call it? Amortize it?
Yes. If you're looking, yes. Go inside the numbers. Just NetJet over to to Rocky Top, and that way you won't have to go to school there. Unfortunately, we fell in love with the campus.
Sure.
At least two of us did.
But I've pointed this out for, about a decade now. Airlines just do not care. If you want to complain, what are you going to not, you're not going to fly? Boo-hoo.
Yeah, but that doesn't seem right, because if an airline goes above and beyond, well, I guess the question is, like, if Southwest really went, and I had a great experience with Southwest, the next time around, it's not like I'm going to fly Southwest just because I had a great experience. I'll go for the cheapest one.
Exactly. They know
that
us.
fits my schedule.
Yeah.
That's
you need
what
to get to Orlando.
Yeah, exactly. Well, she said it was uncomfortable in many ways. And the thing that really ticked her off was they just didn't give her money back. They said, go online and try to get your money back, which she did. But she had to do all the work after the fact, and she had an uncomfortable flight experience. And it was pointed out, you're a customer.
Yeah. It's not cool, but I'm not sure it's illegal.
I don't think it is. I think she's...
The selling of the seat is uncool.
Yeah.
Very uncool.
It is. I mean, they just sold it right out from under her. It would be like forcing someone to get off the plane, and not offering. They should have offered her the $250 voucher or whatever.
The double compensation.
Yeah, because you offer that to anybody that's getting off. Right?
I think right now there's no other job. You can't get physical with them. But I don't think there's any other job out there like flight attendant where you could be openly rude to your customers and nothing happens.
Nothing happens.
As long as you're not handsy on them.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you can pretty much tell someone, shut up, sit down, or I'll have you hauled off of this flight.
Yeah.
And well, who are you going to go complain? Here's my name. What are you going to do? Guess what? I'm not giving you a drink either. Complain
you
about
can't
that.
interfere with the flight crew. I mean, because that's because you can't. I mean, those are kind of the rules now that we're.
Now, you
but he's saying the flight attendant can't get physical, but they can do anything else. But they can go all
right.
the way.
But we have to give them
off.
that leeway because most of the time it's the other way around.
You think most of the time the passengers
it's the passengers who are causing. I would say 90% of the problem.
Oh, probably so. Yeah.
Well, and if you let's say you were like, I wondering if I can have the whole can. Nope, no one gets the whole can. No, I'm not getting you a pillow. What are you going to do? Who are you going to complain to? You're not going to fly? Bye.
Okay. That makes me uncomfortable just you saying it. I'm uncomfortable now.
Welcome to Spirit.
I'm uncomfortable.
Have you thought about switching jobs?
Many.
It does sound like
many times.
Your skill set would match up nicely with your vision of these flight attendants.
Do you know what I read?
Which I will not stand for.
Listen, this made me think of you, Biggie. I read this stat today. 40 minutes of most people's day will be spent thinking, I really wish I was somewhere else.
Only 40? I mean, I don't think that just at work. I think that any other time of the day.
Behind the wheel.
That was the average.
I wish I was anywhere else.
The average person, this was the stat, spends 40 minutes a day thinking, God, I wish I was somewhere else.
Anywhere.
That sounds like you. When I saw that. 2 stories today made me think of you. That and the customer of size on the airplane.
Yes.
I'm so glad you were here to hear this and weigh in on it.
You're very thoughtful.
That makes it real important. I'll tell you this, though. Biggie is making some real changes. He shared them with me because I'm his accountability buddy. And after this latest bout with cellulitis, he's got he told me he's got someone planning his meals now. His mom came and cleaned out all of his stuff from his cabinets. And he's really going all in now to try to make the Wonderwall plan happen to go to California. I like it.
Time waits for no one.
That's right. And I love that he's trusted me. I'm his trusted friend going on the journey with him.
Well, are you saying that because he didn't trust me?
Correct. He said he didn't think you'd care. He sent an email to me and everybody else except Chris Demm. So I said to Chris Demm, pretty powerful email from Biggie, to which Biggie said, he's the one person I didn't send it to.
What email?
Randy, you're talking about flight attendants and how they reacted, in this case, to a customer of size. Go ahead.
Yeah, good morning, guys. P1 here. My daughter's a flight attendant now for Southwest, but previously she was a flight attendant for a regional that served, she flew Delta flights, American flights, United flights. And I think there's a huge level of customer service difference between those carriers. And she saw it in the responsibilities and the duties she had. And she said American was the easiest job she ever had. She said, Dad, we get up, we make 2 announcements, we sit down.
Really?
Anybody gives us any trouble, we tell them no. And now Southwest is like actually the total opposite of that is, hey, they're catering to customers' every need as they can. Now, she still had to throw drunk people off the plane.
Yeah.
But there's a big difference in carriers and how they treat people.
Interesting.
I wonder how many flight attendants have done that.
Thrown a drunk person off the plane?
No, work for different airlines.
Work
and
for
see how
different
different the experiences can be.
That's interesting to hear. Yeah, thank you, Randy. I thought they were all pretty much the same. Although I used to think, I don't fly that much. I used to hear that Southwest was awesome. That they were. But then I think
they
they've
had
gone
a different attitude.
Yeah, they did. They made it fun.
You know what?
For
Southwest helped them a lot. They had a TV show about them.
Oh, they sure did.
They did.
That really, I think, because it looked fun. Oh, they sing. They, most times.
Well, I mean, I was on one Southwest flight before the TV show, and it was fun. They made it very fun.
Yeah, the only time I ever remember a fun, what do they call it, pre-flight announcements? Yeah. It was on a Southwest Airlines.
I mean, they were into. I used to hear before we even had Southwest here. Oh, you should go fly Southwest. It's so much fun.
That was the TV show that you're referencing, by the way, where I first heard the term customer of size.
That's what they called larger.
It was it was up to the gate agent to say, you're a customer of size.
Yeah, that's
We're going to need you to get 2 seats.
I think that's totally changed now. When I started getting 2 seats 20 years ago, they could come up to you, I think, and say, do you have 2 seats? I never was offended by it. I think now...
You don't say that to somebody?
Oh, well, 20 years difference now. Walk up to somebody and say, hey, do you have 2 seats? I am offended.
Oh, you think so? Well, maybe.
100%.
Maybe so. Anonymous, you're talking about the airlines. Go ahead.
Yeah, I had an incident happen probably 40 years ago that I'm sure that I probably could have brought a suit against them. It was a major airline, and I was flying from Dallas to Tulsa, and boarded the plane with a real attractive girl. We're sitting next to each other in the plane, having a conversation, and just as we take off, the male steward came up to me and said, "Excuse me, sir," he said, "when the no seatbelt lights go off, I need you to come up forward cabin and talk to me."
Mm-hmm.
So I did, and he said, "Hey, I've got a layover in Tulsa tonight." He said, "I see you're sitting with this girl." He said, "But I want to see if you're bisexual." And I lost it. I started screaming at him, and I looked back, and for the full length of the fuselage, everybody's leaning over the aisle looking up, and I went back to my seat. Well, the captain came out, and he said, "Excuse me, what's going on?" He said, "Your day steward just propositioned me." And he said, "Sir, go back to your seat." He says, "I will handle this." Mm-hmm. So I did, and me and this girl's talking, and everybody's laughing, and after about 10 minutes, the guy that did that came up to me and tried to give me a few little bottles of airline liquor and said, and apologized. And I said, "Just get your liquor and get the hell out of here."
Whoa.
And so
I will with you.
Yes, the lucky thing is I was carrying a substantial amount of marijuana in my luggage.
Lucky thing.
However, I didn't think about that at the time that I'm screaming at this guy, but I got there, I grabbed my luggage, I went through the house, came back, and went to the ticket counter. I said, "I want the president of this airline," which is a major airline, on the phone with me within 5 minutes, or I'm going to make a lawsuit. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it wasn't 2 minutes, and he was on there. Yeah. I told him what happened. He apologized. And
Randy, yeah. Yeah, we've had problems with him.
I will blackmail this guy or whatever from any airline. He will not work again.
Wow.
And I said, okay. If I had been thinking, I'd say, "Hey, I want free flyer miles for mm-hmm. whatever." But I didn't. I was just so angry that and it really messed with my head. I'm sitting there looking in the mirror saying, "What did this guy see that made him think that I was gay?"
Yeah.
You should take it as a compliment,
Yeah.
You should take it as a compliment. It's like, I must be pretty good looking here for this guy.
Yeah, let's party.
Yeah. Right, exactly.
When we land in Phoenix.
I understand you being upset, but I take it later and say, "Hey."
I'm 50-50 any of that's real. And that he wasn't just high as a kite.
Well, he had a substantial amount of marijuana in his luggage. We know that. Mm-hmm. We know that for sure.
Quit looking at me. You hitting on me? What?
What a fantastic call. My God.
Indeed.